I'm going to tell you how to put together a Gantt chart. Something Excel actually has a software program specifically for this. It's called Project, but here we can do it on our own. Pretty nifty. Takes a little bit of work. Trying to get these colors lined up and get a little bit wacky because we're using conditional formatting behind the scene. Let me walk you through this project schedule with weekends Gantt chart with conditional formatting. Brad Williams, Excel primed. Here we're going to use a Gantt chart to highlight weekends. And then as a bonus, I thought I'd throw in the project work schedule in blue. Weekends are gray and blue are work days. How do we go about doing this? The blues are just an AND function. What we're more concerned with is highlighting the non-work days. What we need to do is tell weekday to highlight anything that's greater than 5. What's the typical format? What numbering do we use on a weekday to identify? This is the default. Well, Sunday is 1 and Saturday is 7. Sunday 1, Saturday being 7. Here's our chart. We're going to have to put this in some kind of readability. So we have days a month. We just copied across. These dates are just random. We're going to use this weekday function to highlight the break. Conditional formatting. This is purely a conditional format. So there's no formulas in here. It's all behind the scenes. We're not going to discuss the internals of conditional formatting. You should know by now how to do that. We're just going to grab these formulas and insert them into conditional formatting and then just change the color. Here, using conditional formatting and a formula based on the weekday function, you may create a Gantt chart with shaded weekends. In the example, the formula applied to the calendar beginning with cell D4, D4 here, it's critical, is weekday D4 2 greater than 5. The essential or critical element of this formula is the 4th row of the calendar header, dates, which consists of a series of valid dates printed using the special number format D. Here, see these dates? It's critical that we have a date in here. You can't just put a number in there. I may have said just the day, but you need to put a date. And it has to be in just the D format, custom format. Notice custom up here. With a hard-coded date in cell D4, the formula equals D4 plus 1. Simple. You can change this up if you want. Be careful. We're trying to find weekends. And if you're skipping around and you decide to add dates greater than 1, you're going to lose your consistency here. The 2-5 consistency. Weekends 2, weekdays 5 typically. This lets us set up a conditional format rule that compares the date in row 4 to the dates in columns B and C. We're using a calculation based on the weekday function to shade weekend dates, as I noted. By default, the weekday function produces a number between 1 and 7. That's important. That correspond to the weekdays, with Sunday being 1 and Saturdays being 7. Adding the optional second argument named return type. Here's the return type, and this should have an underscore under it, but it's not that important. Return type, a number representing day of week mapping scheme. Default is 1. We're using 2. Adding the optional second argument named return type with the value 2 modifies the numbering scheme so that Monday becomes 1 and Saturday and Sunday become 6 and 7. That's why we use this structure D4 2 greater than 5, because we've changed the weekends to 6 and 7. Therefore, to return true for dates that are either Saturday or Sunday, we just need to check for numbers larger than 5. The conditional formatting formula for the calendar area begins with cell D4 and appears as follows. Can you visually see it? D4. D4 2129 is D4 2, back this up, equals what is D42? We have a serial number and we have a return type. Whatever this date is, we're converting it over to, I added a few helpful tips here, okay? Here, we're using this weekday D4 to greater than 5. We're making a change here from the default of 1, which is Sunday through Saturday. Our start date is Monday. We go from there. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday. The weekends are still there, but we're identifying a new number format. So what does that mean? As it lays out now, here is just our days. 2/1/2029 is a Thursday. Friday is the following day, all right? Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If we use this traditional, put this back in its original form, if we use the 1, where Sunday is the start of the week, you're going to see Thursday as false and Friday as true based on this formula. We're going to go D4-1, given that Sunday is the start time. False. Our weekend would be Friday and Saturday, just based on this, the mechanics here. So to fix that, we need to start our week on a Monday just in terms of weekday. Thursday, so think of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays as weekdays. We have to find the false. I forgot to mention that weekdays just going to produce trues and falses. So what we're looking for is trues for the weekend. You can see the difference, why we use the 2 and force the Saturday, Sunday, okay? Until you can understand how weekday and this optional return type is incorporated, this may be helpful. Okay, remember D4 is a date, is greater than equal to B5. B5 is the project date. D4 is greater than equal to B5. D4 is less than equal to C5. Got it? And so now just look here. Is D4 right here for 2/1/29 greater than 2/2/29? No, we're not going to color it. Here, what does it say? D4 greater than equal to D5. 2/2 and 2/2 equal each other. The same is true for 3 and 4 and 5. Less than or equal to C5. Well, it equals C5. Then anything greater, then you don't color. But because, and we'll go to conditional formatting, because there is a hierarchy here, the rules already in place, manage rules, go here. You have to be in the intended range, go to conditional formatting, manage rules. If this second rule is above the first rule, well then this gray won't happen. The gray overrides the blue, and hence that's why we're seeing the gray. If we turned it around, then we'd never see the weekends.
Be sure to check out all of our Excel courses. Excel data and text manipulation. We have an advanced beginners and intermediate course. Excel essentials. This is for individuals new to Excel. We have an advanced, excellent beginners, level 1 and level 2, and intermediate level course. Excel formulas, formulas only. We have a beginner, an advanced, and an intermediate level course. Click on any of the links. There's a short video that explains everything about the course. Check it out.
In terms of the input, weekday, here we go. The blue, okay, you have to cancel out of here. Notice the gray. The second rule, you have to highlight it, edit, enter this formula, change whatever color you want, and that's it. What is seemingly a simple approach can get kind of just wonky. You have to get a feel for weekday, and keep in mind, conditional formatting is just a minefield. It's going to blow up on you from time to time. So be careful. When you're dealing with stuff like this, limit the number of workbooks you have open. Save, and save often. Control S. You don't want this thing to blow up on you because of a problem within conditional formatting. There's a lot of bugs in here. And generally, what blows up conditional formatting is your structure. In other words, you have to have absolute and relative references and mixed references in the proper format, or this thing will not cooperate. Brad Williams, XL Prime, thanks for watching.